All right, friend of the channel, D1. We are
Quick,
back
man.
with an
Whoa.
update on D1, man.
Wow.
Friend of the channel. So, any if anyone who has been on social media lately, they've probably seen this video that has exploded that shows these little girls dancing and singing along to the "Rich Baby Daddy" song, which is the song with Drake, Drake and Sexy Red
Whoa.
on Drake's the latest piece of trash music that Drake put out.
Garbage. Sorry,
The
man.
latest album that Drake put out for all the dogs. There's a song on the album "Rich Baby Daddy" with Sexy Red. And there's this video that's going viral with these little girls singing along to the song and dancing to it. D1, who is unafraid to speak out against various aspects of the culture that he feels are problematic, has spoken out against this. He takes issue with it.
Ah.
And this is definitely good content for the channel. So we'll go ahead and take a look at what D1 had to say about this. So this article says D1 calls out viral dance video of kids dancing to Sexy Red's verse on Rich Baby Daddy. D1, known for his song Taking a Chance on Me, has voiced his concern over a viral video featuring a group of young girls dancing to Drake and Sexy Red's song Rich Baby Daddy. In a video shared on X/Twitter on Tuesday, which was January 2nd, the rapper reposted the controversial performance before addressing the public with his thoughts. D1 wastes no time in expressing his disapproval, stating, "This ain't cool, man, and this ain't cute." The video has garnered a mix of praise and criticism. It has sparked a larger conversation about the influence of music and the responsibility of both artists and fans. However, he's addressing the problem of young children listening to and dancing to vulgar and sexually explicit music. So we'll just go ahead and scroll down here. And you know what? I think I'm actually going to open up a new window and I'm going to stop sharing this and then share a full screen version of D1's response. So let me stop sharing this. All right, and then I'll go ahead and present, and I'm gonna present this right here, and then we'll go full screen. I want to go full screen here. All right, so this is going to start with the video in question, and then D1 is going to delve into his issues with it.
Oh man, it's crazy, bro.
This ain't cool, man. And this ain't cute. But the real question is, what are we going to do about it? It takes artists to make the music. It takes fans to support the music. And it takes adults to figure out what they're going to expose their kids to, right? So first off, as fans, you got to make sure you're not supporting this and you're not promoting this type of music. Matter of fact, you need to be vocal about the fact that you're opposed to this if you really have a problem with it. As artists, we just got to decide when we want to stop being manipulated, man, and letting them use us as pawns. Where they pay us, they give us some fame, but they allow us to aid in the destruction and the brainwashing of our own people. And as adults, you got to be responsible, man. What are you exposing your kids to? What are you allowing them to learn over and over by hearing it repeatedly? Come on, man. This is the year to shift, yo. If we just talk about it and don't take no action, nothing changes. If we don't talk about it, nothing changes for sure. It's the year to shift, yo. The time is right now. All I hear y'all talking about is your money in large amounts. Must think accountability is your ability to count. It's not. That's why this culture lukewarm, intoxicated with ignorance.
All right, so there you go.
Wow.
So were you not aware? Did you had you not seen this before I sent it to you?
I mean, I saw it, but I didn't see the whole thing. So I was like, "Oh, D1, all right, yeah, Sexy Red, yeah, that makes sense." But it's crazy.
Yeah. So what do you think, man? D1 strikes again, man. That's how I see it.
I mean, I gotta be honest, man. You know, when we talked about Drake and all of his dogs, that album, when we made that video, and please guys, do yourselves a favor and go watch our review that wasn't really a review of it. Because I don't even remember what it was about, but we were talking about it. And even then, I was like, what is this? You know, I didn't know the song by name. I still didn't until you said it. But I did hear the clip where the hands on your knees, shake your derriere for Drake, and then shake your derriere for her. And I was like, now all of these guys out here that's caping for Drake and oh yeah, this bang and all this. I'm saying, are y'all gonna put your hands on your knees? You clapping your ass for Drake? Oh my bad. That's what I said. Oh, you clapping your ass for Sexyy Red. This music wasn't made for adult men, and that's what we were talking about. That's what it was. It's like age appropriate stuff. And I made a joke about, you know, like what is that kind of song? What is that song even talking about or promoting? Well, now we see. All right. These kids, these kids don't know what's going on, but they're saying some vile things. And to me, personally, that was its intent from inception. Me personally. And so that was just like how you were just saying, like things are working as intended. Those that's working as intended. And it's shocking people that are older that seeing this, but I can also remember. And I think I joked about this before, but I'll share the story again. Now we grew up in Miami, bro. So, and in the early 90s, Luke was going hammer, you know, worldwide, but especially on, you know, 99 Jams, Power 96. And I'm at the crib just vibing out. So I'm hearing Pop That Coochie all the time. So I'm in the side yard playing. I don't know how old I am. I'm in the side yard, but I'm young. I'm in the side yard playing. You know, my mom in the kitchen, she cooking. So the window right there, you know, so she doing her thing. But, you know, I was just feeling it. And I was like, hey, Pop That Coochie, hey. And then my mom was like, she said, what? She said, what? Don't you ever say that? I was like, what's going on? What can I say? And I was like, what coochie? And she damn near ran out of the house to come whoop my ass. Now, I was a little kid. I didn't know what coochie meant. And I damn sure didn't want anybody to be around there popping it. Like, I didn't know what that was. But it definitely had an effect on how I grew up somehow. Because if I didn't grow up with that song, my life may have been different. Now, what that shift was, I don't know, but it's in there. And the point is that all of these songs, even though the old heads would like to say, "Oh yeah, man, you know, back in our day, the songs they weren't all this." Okay, it wasn't explicit, but the message is still getting through. Now, as I'm sitting in the back seat, you know, as a kid, and you know, Hot 105 is on. That's supposed to be the clean channel. And Hot 105 is on, and hey girl, what's your mister? Making love in between. I'm just making love in between sheets. Everybody was getting that programming. And so my whole thing is just that through generations, the programming changed. The people get more extreme, the people more on edge. They get used to envelopes getting pushed. So the stuff has to be more aggressive for the next generation. That's the whole point. So even our music, as explicit as it was in the 90s and 2000s, it's not even close to the garbage that's going on now. So we're just witnessing the evolution of programming. And quintessential prime example, Exhibit A, is what Dee-1 was responding to. You know, it's only going to get worse from here. So, like he said, at what point, because the artists are going to do what they're going to do. The people who are giving it, putting it on the radio, putting it on everybody's stream, they're going to do what they're going to do. So it is to the parents, the guardians, or whoever, the uncles, the aunts, to step in and try to do something to make sure that their offspring or their people aren't being part of that machine. So hey, I got more to say, but your thoughts on D1 weighing in on the Sexy Red slash Drake collabs.
I of course agree with him, and I'll add to your sentiments about the sort of the veracity of the content becoming more aggressive as time passes with the new generations.
Mhm.
On top of that, it's different now because now one's accessibility to the content is way more ubiquitous. This stuff is everywhere.
Yeah.
So you and I had to listen to the radio or watch music videos to get to encounter these things for the most part. But every kid has a phone now. Every kid has access to the internet now. So there are just so many different ways for you to come into contact with the various forms of programming that are in existence that to me it's an apples to oranges comparison. Because I hear that, like I've heard that before, like, you know, my dad used to talk like this about the music we listened to in
Mhm.
the 90s and 2000s. It's the same,
Mhm.
you know, he used to say the same stuff. Y'all listening to this, you know, bullshit. All they talk about is this or that and blah, 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 blah. So the phenomenon of, you know, sort of aging out of the music and positioning yourself in such a way that you can reflect on what's going on to kind of have a new perspective on it, that's nothing new. That's nothing new. What is new, in my opinion, is the internet. That's what's new. The internet is what's made it different. It's made the consumption of the content so much more easily accessible and so much more pervasive. That's the difference. And you can't tell your child who's 10 years old in a classroom with a bunch of other 10 years old and all you know, your child's classmates and friends, they all got smartphones. What you gonna do? Deny your kid a phone? You got to get the kid a phone. The phone's gonna be connected to a cellular network. The kid's gonna be able to connect the phone to Wi-Fi, and they're gonna be able to look at all of this stuff. Everything on YouTube, everything on Instagram, everything on TikTok. So it's the accessibility of it today compared to previous eras that makes it more of a touchy subject, in my opinion, and in my opinion, spotlights the manner in which it has become an even more profound aspect of mind control, comparatively speaking, to previous generations. And why we speak about it so much on this channel, because it's everywhere, it's all over the place. All over the place. You cannot stop it. All we had was the radio and BET Uncut. That's all we had.
That shit was
Now it's now as long as you got a phone, you can look at it on Twitter, you can look at it on TikTok, you can look at it on Instagram. It's all over the place.
Twitter. Wow,
YouTube,
bro.
YouTube, viral videos. Everybody's a follower and not a leader. So everyone's gonna want to do these goofy ass internet challenges. So it's so ubiquitous. And the consumption of it is so readily available and so easily accessible. That's the ingredient that makes it today so much more of a profound impact in terms of what it's doing to the masses juxtaposed to previous generations. But my key takeaway with this whole thing is, if this doesn't exemplify how this stuff is mind control, I don't know what will. I truly don't know what will. But you will have people who will say we crazy. You'll have people who will call us out, say we missing it. They'll disagree with us. You know what I'm saying? You'll have a lot of people who are in favor of this kind of stuff, who champion it, who think it's funny, who don't think it's a big deal that your 5, 6, 7-year-old girl is singing along and dancing along to Rich Baby Daddy. And you know, the main thing that I'm going to take away from that, you know, honestly, the main thing that I take away from that is I think it's ironic that the same people who don't have a problem with this will be the same people who say that the vaccine is a conspiracy. These will be the same people who will say that, you know, 9/11 was an inside job. They'll be the first ones to holler tinfoil hat and conspiracy. And my whole thing is, y'all want to think that that stuff is a conspiracy, then you also need to understand that you are actively contributing to what I believe is the greatest conspiracy ever created, which is the internet and social media. Like, most of you willfully feed technology companies data on their algorithms that they can then sell to corporations that inform the corporations on how to give you content that controls your personal behavior and your purchasing behavior. That to me is a conspiracy too. So it's like y'all all day long want to talk about how the government's doing this, how the secret societies are doing that, how the vaccine is this, how this politician is that, and how the war over here is this and that. Y'all got all of these brilliant ideas about these conspiracies that are at work looking to do what they do, but you actively contribute to the greatest conspiracy that I've ever seen in my lifetime, which is social media. And you allow your children to be a part of that ecosystem where they're getting mind controlled. Like, this is algorithmic data that is being fed to technology corporations who then contract this same information to corporations so that they can control the way you spend your money and control the way that you personally behave, which is mind control. So, I just want people to be aware of that, because these will be the same people who will want to comment on a post about all the other conspiracies that they just know for a fact are going on, but the world doesn't want to let us in on. Okay, well, there's a huge conspiratorial thing right there in your face that you are actively capitulating to through the consumption of this mind control. Now I wouldn't feel this strongly about this if it was understood that this was just all fun and games and entertainment. But clearly, you have a whole swath of people out here who look at this as lifestyle, culture. If you look up the word culture in the dictionary definition of culture is a way of life. So for a lot of people that are out here in the streets, this music, these songs, these artists are part of their culture, quote unquote. Hence, this is your way of life. And you believe that and you willfully accept it. But you don't think there's anything wrong with that. But you think all of these other conspiracies are a problem. You can say, well, you can refuse the vaccine all you want. At the end of the day, you've already given up agency over yourself because you're being actively controlled by these technology companies and these corporations. And it targets communities who disproportionately have the least, they're least able to be able to think for themselves and understand that this is not just a game. So again, I am in favor of what Dee-1 had to say, but I think it points out the hypocritical nature of people. Again, I am not trying to downplay anyone who believes any of these things. You want to think the vaccine is a conspiracy? Fine. We can have that conversation. You want to think all of these other things are conspiracies, and you want to think that all of these other forces are at work working against you actively? Fine. We can have those conversations. I don't want to take that away from you. I think that there's some suspect stuff going on out here in the world myself. So I'm not trying to suggest that one's propensity for thinking along those lines is crazy. I'm not going to do that. But at the same time, if you want to get mad at this stuff, you should, as a responsible person trying to contribute to the world, also get mad at stuff like this, because both to me are doing the same thing.
I never thought about that, but yeah, I mean, I agree. If somebody out there does believe in all of that stuff and they don't think the industry's going, I mean, now what kind of conspiracy theorists are they anyway? So they need to go ahead and take a hike, man. You got to get on all the bandwagons, baby. So hey, man, I'm on all of them, dog. So hey, man, what's happening? So there's a few that I refute, but hey, I'm in line, man. But yeah, this goes with it, man. And and to me, as far as this being, listen, the the proof's in the pudding. I don't know how many times people gonna have to scroll through Netflix. Yeah, not you, JB, but
Yeah.
the viewer. Now, how many times you have to scroll through Netflix, scroll through Hulu, scroll through Amazon Prime? Ah, damn it, there's nothing on. But there's a million and whatever things on there, low key. Some of these are developed by the studios themselves or whatever they're doing. All the movies are doing the same thing. It's just different characters. It's the same scripts. It's the same plots. Why? What is this? Why do they keep filling this giant I can't even think of a word right now. This giant pool of media that people are just gonna watch, have as background stuff, and why are they doing that? It's not to entertain you anymore, in my book. Once you watch these things and you getting the messages through these things, they're putting people in there that you don't want to see. They're putting types of relationships in there that you don't agree with, or political views you don't agree with, and they're just giving it to you and forcing it to you. People keep complaining, they keep giving it to you. Why? Because it's not for you. It's for the kids that's dancing in that video. Because those kids that's dancing in that video are going to grow up one day and make political decisions and make romantic decisions and make all these other things that when they're of age, they're just going to think it's part of the game. And so me sitting here refuting these things, me making fun of these entertainers, for what they be doing. I mean, this is why at some point these people have to be viewed as the minstrel show, as you mentioned, as they really are. I'm not trying to get strike for any hate speech or anything, but just go ahead and put those two over there, Sexyy Red and him in blackface, because that's what their pose is actually doing. They're humiliating and embarrassing us. And then look at what they're doing with the offsprings. I mean, it's granted, it's the parents and all. You get what I'm getting at. They are working for something to get paid to do this garbage. So call it out. Because quite frankly, bro, hey man, it's 2024, man. Yeah, things are gonna get wild, but that don't mean everybody gotta take this crap no more. Last thing I'll say: if there's people in the future that's watching these things, like 2050 something, not 2050, 2500 something, 500 years from now. Yeah, y'all watching some salute of old YouTube videos. We here, baby. But when y'all watching this, everybody wasn't down with this garbage. Everybody didn't agree with this. Most people like us here at the Conscious Approach, we just want to just chill, make our money, go home. All this other extra stuff, we ain't signing up for none of this. So not everybody was down for this garbage that's going on nowadays. I just wanted to throw that out there because I know they're going to look back in history and go, those guys were idiots. Hey, wasn't all of us, baby. Wasn't all of us.
Yeah. Yeah. I firmly believe that the people who love this are the same people who hate all of this other stuff. And that's kind of what I wanted to touch on with this particular subject, because to me, they're doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. Whatever the they, people like to use the word they, whoever they are, whatever you think they are doing to you, you're allowing it through the consumption of this. And you're allowing it when you are allowing your kids to do it. Because You're right, it's not for the adults, it's for the children. Although you do have a lot of man children walking around out here in these streets. So there's a lot of 30 and 40-year-olds, 45, hell, even 50-year-olds who will, be juking and jiving to Rich Baby Daddy Drake. I've seen it.
I've seen it too.
Yeah. So it's for some of the adults too, but it's mostly for the youth. And the sole purpose of it is to control and wrangle purchasing behavior and personal behavior. It is to feed you information that will control those two aspects of your life. And if you have an issue with the world at large and things going on in society that you have a problem with, this thing over here, this secret thing over here, this device over here, this conspiracy over here, then stop actively contributing to one that they're throwing right in your face. They're giving you this one. This one is blatant, and y'all just eating it up. Y'all just eating it up. So that's the part about this kind of stuff that annoys me, because I'm tired of having conversations with people who have all of these grandiose political opinions about vaccines and politics, politicians, and all of these other various subjects, but you'll sit there on your feed for 5 hours a day. Like, make that make sense. It doesn't make sense. They're doing the same thing. You look at a particular thing that they throw at you on your Instagram feed, an ad. Next thing you know, you're at the mall buying some shit that you don't need. Or your kid sees something on their feed and now they bugging you, and you need to buy it because you need to shut your kid up and let your kid have it. Because
right.
it's not worth the trouble of dealing with them moaning and whining about how you didn't get them what they wanted. Especially when you throw peer pressure in there, because, like I said, all their friends and all the other kids in their classes, they got it. You can't deny your kid that. So there you go. What created this thing? It wasn't you. It was the messages your kid is getting, because we're actively consuming this thing in a very gluttonous fashion. So my whole thing is, I've said this before and I'll say it again. People need to become conscientious enough to understand and pick a side. If you got a problem with all of these tinfoil hat issues, then get a problem with this too. And if you want to live in a world where it's just open, free range, social anarchy, everybody do what they want, who cares, then stand on that. Stand on that. Go get the jab. Stop complaining about the politicians. Do all of that stuff if you really don't have a problem with this too. But you got people who are just over here and over there, and I'm cool with this, but not cool with that. Get out of here. Enough. So I'm with Dee-1. I'm with Dee-1. Again, shocker. He is right. It is mind control. Clearly, though, people don't care that it's mind control. They're going to consume it anyway. And you're going to let your kids consume it anyway. It is what it is. My whole thing is, be consistent. Stand on some kind of principle. If you hate this stuff, then hate this too. And if you love this stuff, then go ahead and love this too. You know, that's all I got.
Hey, well said, brother. Hey, one thing about it, man, I talk about it a lot here. You know, when it comes to how I feel about these systems. All right, and yeah, I just think that this is just another example of what I be talking about when it comes to these things that eventually control the mass behavior of people. Now, I don't really think that, you know, of course, there's people out here that don't allow their kids to be a part of that. But what I'm telling you is that a large group of people are. And then so the mess that we're seeing right now in society from the people that's supposed to be upholding it, you know, yeah, they were part of the mind control from back then. And things are tearing at the seams, low quality stuff. Yeah, man, you know, as intended. So yeah, if you want to put an end to it, man, you know, my letter of recommendation is to take these types of things that they call entertainment a lot more seriously, and don't just write it off and dismiss it, because again, there's no reason that those children should be doing that, and probably don't even know, you know, colors and numbers and multiplication. So hey, best of luck to you guys out there. I know what I'm doing, and I'm unplugging from the system, man.
Yeah. Why not, man? You know, rich baby daddy sexy. You already know if it's Drake, it's gonna trend anyway. So, you know, Drake is the ultimate puppet master, whether he realizes it or not.
OVO, cuckoo, oh,
Six God. Six God.
I can't forget that. Yeah, I can't forget that.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, boy.